What is going on, guys? Nathan here with another Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary. Here playing as some unknown class on some unknown map, because I don't have any gameplay in Sony Vegas as I'm recording this. But anyway, what I would like to talk about today is how much graphics matter in video games. And I don't think this is like a super controversial topic in the gaming world, but I do think that people are very opinionated when it comes to asking them how much graphics matter to them. And I found that there's pretty much like two camps of people. It's people who are people who pretty much like graphics a lot and are less tolerant when it comes to games with bad graphics, and I'm sort of in that camp, versus a group of people who like they don't really or they don't really care about the graphics that much, and it's like all about the gameplay and having fun and stuff like that. And I do know both types of people. I mean, I myself belong in that first category. Graphics matter a lot to me, but I do know like other people on my friends list, a lot of people on my friends list, where graphics don't matter as much and they care more about the gameplay, and maybe they play more retro games because, you know, the graphics might be N64 style, but maybe the gameplay is fantastic. Talking about you, Zist, but I don't know. To me, graphics matter a lot, and here's why. Simply put, I want to be immersed into the game that I'm playing and not constantly be reminded that what I'm doing is playing a video game. Like, I feel like I'm almost cheated if I look at a triangle on some N64 type of game from 1998 and I'm supposed to believe that that's a human. Now, that's obviously an exaggeration, but it illustrates the point where, like, I want to get immersed into a video game and almost believe that my character in game is like actually doing something in like a real world. Now, there are different standards for different genres of video games. For example, a game like Skyrim or Oblivion, I think those are technically open world RPGs. That's their classification. Not entirely sure, but like games like that, I want those to have high-end graphics, because if I'm expected to play a role-playing game, and expected might not be the right word there, but if I'm going to play a role-playing game, then it's really hard to like quote-unquote role-play with your character when the world around you is like set against that role-playing aspect. Like, the more realistic the world is, then the easier it is to quote-unquote roleplay. And like I said, I mean, Skyrim does an excellent job of this, because like when you're walking through a forest and there are like magnificent looking trees surrounding you, very detailed with like thick and lush tall grass, then it's on like that forest situation is really real, and you might feel like a sense of danger, like, oh, maybe there's like a wolf looking around this corner, I should be wary of that, he might attack my horse or something. A real world makes these real emotions, and that is really what I enjoy about video games. Now, for other genres like FPS, for example, needs, you know, less graphics, because a game like Team Fortress 2 isn't realistic in like the slightest. I mean, a backstab from a knife will kill you before a sniper bullet to the freaking chest will. But I mean, like, a game like Team Fortress 2 makes up for that with like cartoony graphics, and I guess like the style of the graphics really matters too, because if Team Fortress 2 really tried to pull off realistic graphics, I think that the game would be liked a lot less, because the cartoony atmosphere really coincides well with the gameplay style of like rocket jumping and like Mark Gardnering, you know, doing like really silly stuff. And I guess rocket jumping isn't like silly, but like that's not realistic in the slightest, and the cartoon graphics really back that up. And a game like Call of Duty, I think even Call of Duty could pull off less graphics, even though Call of Duty is supposed to be more realistic. I mean, Call of Duty just really isn't as realistic as some other games like Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 needs good graphics because that's supposed to be a realistic, more of a realistic like battlefield simulator. Now, to list a bad game in this genre, like Red Orchestra 2, which I don't even know when that was released, but like, that game is literally supposed to be a World War II simulator, where you pretty much get shot once and you're dead, but that game has really bad graphics. It might be from like the mid-2000s, like 2006, 2007, and the graphics on the game are just not up to par, and because of that, I don't feel like it's supposed to be taken legitly. Like, I cannot get immersed into that game because the weapon I'm holding looks like a cylinder with like maybe like a bolt attached to it that's supposed to be my bolt action rifle. I don't know. It's just I'm not a fan of really low graphical games where when you're trying or where you're supposed to be immersed into the game. And I mean, one more example too that was really recent is that I don't even want to play Fez, even though it might be a great puzzle game with really complicated puzzles that might feel great to beat. But I just can't play it because the game is literally pixels. It looks like something from Game Boy Advance because it is so pixelated. And I do realize that that's supposed to be like the style of the game, and it's only one developer creating the game, so obviously the graphics aren't going to be that good, which, I mean, Fez might have been able to pull that off, but it's just for me personally, I cannot play a game like that when it's basically pixels that I'm looking at. Now, on the other hand, I do like certain games that had great gameplay, but like maybe just older graphics that were pretty average for their time. For example, like Wind Waker is a great game that obviously didn't have the best graphics, but it still had that cartoony feel, and it pulled it off very well. And I mean, most of these games are really old games that I have a lot of nostalgia for, but like a lot of Wii games, like Super Mario Sunshine. Well, these are GameCube games, so they for their time they had really good graphics, but like Double Dash is still amazing to this day. Super Mario Sunshine is still amazing. Like a Pokemon on the Game Boy, you can't really beat that, even though you're basically just staring at pixels. But like, these aren't games where I feel like you're supposed to be like immersed into it. Like Super Mario Sunshine, for example, is just, you know, Mario jumping around, and there's no like immersive aspect. Like, I'm not supposed to think that I'm walking through a very realistic forest. So in summary, I suppose, whenever there's not an immersive aspect to a game, bad graphics are okay as long as the gameplay is great also. But if there is any sort of immersive aspect where I want to believe what I'm looking at is at least a little bit real, then I think the graphics need to be turned up a bit. And I always cringe whenever somebody says blindly that graphics don't matter in games, because if you really wanted to twist that definition, you could say that you enjoy staring at a blank screen because it is one pixel. Like, would you enjoy playing Minecraft on a 1x1 texture pack, which I have done before, and it's literally pixels just like everywhere. Like, the torch you're holding is literally a square. That sword you're holding, another square. That shovel, another square. So I just really don't like it when people blindly say that graphics don't matter in games. But I don't know, that's kind of a tangent. Anyway, so this is where I will wrap up the video, guys. Thank you all for watching and listening to my commentary. Feel free to leave your own opinion in the comments section below with a structured, detailed comment with proper grammar and spelling. We'll see how many of those we actually get, and I will be amused by how many we actually do get. But anyway, that is the video, guys. So once again, thank you all for watching. If you could leave a rating on the video, that would be amazing. And subscribe for more Team Fortress 2. And that's pretty much it. So see you guys later. Peace out.